Are you struggling to get your team to hit sales targets consistently? I want to introduce you to Dustin Phillips, an executive sales leader we work with who took his team from middle of the pack to the #1 team with 100% of his team hitting over 100% to quota at $1 billion organization. Keep watching and enjoy. Hey, what's going on? Market Chan here. I'm excited. I got Dustin Phillips. He's been an absolute stud leader. Dustin, do you want to introduce yourself about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I'm Dustin Phillips. I'm a sales leader in the tech space.
So what's some of the challenges you're running into before we started working together?
Yeah, I think a lot of the challenges were you get sales enablement from all walks of life. It doesn't take, you can scroll on LinkedIn for 3 minutes and you'll get 50 different sales tips. And I think a lot of it is maybe overly complex. And one thing that really helped me when working with you is really the simplicity of being able to frame and center your sales process around your customer, and just being human was, I think, a really important step for my team to be able to take that led to a lot of incredible results.
Dude, I love that. Some leaders, they say, I guess I'll just do sales enablement, or here's these 50 tips on LinkedIn. Let me just fire it off to my team. Why even get help to begin with?
I think anybody should always look to get better and improve and be the absolute best in what they do, especially today in this age of AI, and there's so many different options out there. You have to be really on top of your game. So it's really important to do whatever it takes that it's going to give you an edge and be the absolute best in what you do to beat out your competition and to beat out your peers. And not only that, think of your buyers and all the things that they're dealing with. If you want to be so valuable to them, that you do become that priority, right? I think that's the biggest thing, is we're battling for a lot of bandwidth and mind share, and people are really spread thin these days. So helpful.
You're so spot on. Our buyers, they expect so much more. And they want a true trusted advisor to actually help them make their business better. They don't want just another vendor. They want someone who's above that, right? As you're looking at different people for training and coaching, there's a lot of people out there. What made you say yes to working with us?
Yeah, I just think the approach was a little bit different from what I've seen. It was really important, and I'm pretty sure that you pointed this out, that when someone is doing discovery, like definitely distinguishing, like, hey, you want to be a human and you don't want it to be an interrogation, right? You really have to soften it up, especially first. You really have to be there and be an advisor. And sometimes I feel like in your tone of voice, like you slow things down to make it easy and simple for people. And I think we're definitely living in this sort of day and age where the more simple you keep it for the buyer, the more they will buy from you, right? Like we're living in the age of smartphones and Amazon. So people buy when it's easy and simple, and they can clearly see that we're able to solve their problem. If we overcomplicate it or make it too complex or ask them too many sort of invasive questions up front that make it uncomfortable for them, that's friction that we as salespeople are creating in the sales process that we just don't need.
Right.
Now, that being said, once you get further along in the process, you start to involve those other stakeholders, then you're going to have the permission to ask some of these deeper level questions that are going to get the information that you're going to need to be able to put together a really powerful, proposal for them. But I think where a lot of salespeople go wrong, and I've seen some posts on it lately, is they're trying to do all of this deep discovery up front. While it's important to do discovery, no sort of prospect raises their hand saying, I can't wait to be discovered, right? They want to make sure their problem's solved. In the beginning, they're going to be a little bit guarded, and it's our job to have them let their guard down a little bit. I think you do a really nice job of coaching how to be able to do that.
Dude, I love that. And for you with your team, right? How long did it take for you guys to see any type of results?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. I think just helping coach my team on some of the concepts, it was almost instantaneous. Some of the team that I was working with, it was a very transactional sale. So being able to do some of the discovery early on, create the compelling ROI and proposal for them by finding that sort of impact and understanding what it means to the business and being able to take that and turn that into a deal. It was pretty fast. I would say within 30 days, and we were able to see some great results.
When you helped your team achieve these amazing things, hitting Achievers Club, right? They're making more money than they made before. They're attracting more opportunities. How did that make you feel as a leader to be able to have a hand on their success?
It was great. It felt great for them to be able to achieve that accolade and seeing a lot of their success. Yeah, it was amazing.
I love that. Where do you think you would be if you hadn't taken action and started working with us?
Good question. I think we still would have done okay, but maybe not have this sort of high level of success
Right.
that we were able to have, because I really do think like it's important to just be 100% on top of your game, because it's a very competitive world out there. You're competing internally with a lot of your peers as sales leaders and managers, and you're also competing externally with your competition. I think one way to separate yourself is just make sure if you're doing the absolute best job and discovery and convincing your prospect that your solution is the best fit to be able to solve their challenge. That's what wins against competition above anything else. It's not who has the best FUD about the other, right? And I think when you're competing against someone, I think it's important sometimes to even understand the FUD that they might be saying, but never speak poorly about your competition. It's all about how can you do the best job with your customer, creating that rapport and relationship and doing the best discovery that will ultimately lead to them tying you and your solution to be able to say, we have to go with them, right? To be able to say, we have to go with Dustin and his team to be able to help solve our problem. The other options don't even come close for them to jump to that conclusion. So I think that's very important.
I love that. Say if there was someone on the fence, because some teams out there, they don't want to invest into their teams. They don't want to make them like, oh, it's free content. They'll figure it out, right? What would you say to someone like that?
Just do it. Figure out like what that return on investment is going to look like. You know, if you're able to really impact your earnings, your team's earnings, and if you're really on top of your game, that's going to make you number one, that's going to make your team the best team. What would that be worth to you? So understand that outcome that you're trying to really drive. And if you do nothing where you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. So you got to find ways to do different things that are going to help you hit that next level of growth and get those next results.
If you enjoyed this interview and you are interested in getting your team trained with the skills to not just hit, but exceed your sales targets, go ahead and book a time below or anywhere your sales page, and we'll see if we can help your team as well. Thank you so much for watching.